All right, welcome on in to the 1 year anniversary edition of Falls Count Anywhere podcast. I'm Charlie Turner, along with Chris DiCarlo and John Restino. Man, I don't know if we've gotten any better at this shit in the past year, but I like to think that we have. But the cool thing is that we've had a ton of great guests throughout the year. But
Yeah,
today, again, marks the 1 year anniversary, gentlemen. We made it. We made it to a year at least.
beautiful.
And what better way to celebrate the 1 year anniversary of this show than bringing in one of our very first guests on the show that we have the pleasure to talk to. And now we're going to catch up with him and see what's going on. He is the maestro of professional wrestling. He is Mr. Rob Kellum. He is Papa Stro. What's up, Stro? How's it going, man? We are Team Stro here, and we're so glad to have you back on the show, man.
Oh, pleasure to be here with you guys, man. I've been looking forward to this.
Us as well, man. Us as well. We just wanted to catch up with you and say, first of all, thank you for being our first guest on the show. We were in a studio before. Now we're kind of all doing this remotely, like the rest of the podcast do. So we're blending in with all the cool kids now and doing it the way everybody else is doing it or whatever. So,
Awesome.
but man, Stro, we just want to, as far as catching up with you, we follow you through social media. You've been doing some acting. You've been doing like some horror movies and stuff like that. I mean, tell us about what's going on in your world these days, man.
Well, I have a horror sci-fi comedy series coming out in the month called Stro Sinister Cinema. It's kind of like Elvira, Tales from the Crypt, that type of thing. A lot of casted characters, vampires, werewolves, in the works, right? So looking forward to that. I got a spy series coming out also in the month called Hybrid. That'll be out soon as well. I've got a horror short coming out called Hunter: The Last Line. That'll be coming out soon, as well as I'm going to be in the, appearing in Elysium Poker commercial coming up soon.
Cool.
So a lot of things to look forward to.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
and of course, all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, you are every day. And of course, we follow you and also listen to your podcast every Thursday night on vocnation.com, right?
Yeah. Tuesday nights, VOC Nation within the room, and then Thursday nights, WCW Retro, Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah.
Yeah, WCW Retro, man, that's a cool show that you guys do, because what I like that you guys do is you'll feature a specific wrestler for the week, and you guys kind of break down the career and the legacy of that wrestler. It's just a really cool concept that you guys do here. And we, as we always talk about classic wrestling and all that stuff here on this show as well, some of the past guests we've been able to talk to directly, the Killer Bees recently, we had both Brian Blair and Jumpin' Jim Bronzell joining us separately, but both were able to join us on the show and talk some classic wrestling, of course. But as you've been doing that, how long has that been going on? The WCW Retro show that you've been doing, Stro? About a year, over a year or so.
Yeah, about 3 to 4 years now.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and like this week, we'll be talking about The Undertaker this Thursday.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be really
awesome.
That'll be good.
One of the absolute legends of the business, The Undertaker, a 30-year career. Of course, as you guys know, I think on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling, if you were to ask me, I'd put The Undertaker on that Mount Rushmore. Would you agree with that, Stro?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, whenever.
Yeah, he. I'll tell you what, and the one guy that's missed when it comes to The Undertaker to me is Paul Bearer. His character was absolutely classic, man. The yin to The Undertaker's yang with that high pitched voice and everything like that. And I don't know, Stro, if you've had a chance to check out any of the some of those documentaries that they've been doing on the Vice network there, and they did a recent documentary on The Undertaker, and just some really good stuff. And now they started to do the Tales from the Territories on the Vice network. If you've had a chance to check any of that stuff out, because that's been a pretty cool look into history of wrestling that they've been doing. Oh, did we lose Stro? He froze up, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I was like, wow, man, I guess he doesn't want to answer that question, but his screen froze up.
Yeah. Maybe because he's
outdoor connection there. John, I don't know if you're able to reset.
Well, anyway, yeah, I love the show. In fact, I can't wait. I got to watch about the AWA they just did last night.
Yeah, that's what I got to catch up on is the AWA. And then last week they had the Jerry Lawler, Andy Kaufman story, which was pretty cool. And to see some of those guys talking about it, Dutch Mantel and the Jarretts, Jerry Lawler, of course.
Yeah, different people
Chris, that's
on
right up your
different
alley, man.
shows. Yeah, I guess Jumpin' Jim was on the AWA one, so I gotta definitely check that out.
Okay, yeah, I got it on the old DVR list there, so I'm gonna have to fire that one up and check that out. Now we were talking a little bit before the show, with what's been going on currently. Hangman Page had a pretty bad incident last night in his match against Moxley. I guess he came away with a pretty bad concussion. They brought the AEW doctor out there. I don't know if you caught any of that.
I didn't catch any of that, but I did catch the MJF promo with formerly Lord Steven Regal, and then him and Moxley kind of jawed at it at the end of the program there, leading into their. He's going to fight him at the pay-per-view coming up, Full Gear, I believe it is in November.
I believe that's November 12th, if I'm not mistaken on that. I do know that we got the.
I know that.
Yeah, we got that November 5th pay-per-view coming up with WWE. They got the Crown Jewel going on. That's the other thing too. Now we saw an appearance by Brock Lesnar on last week's Monday Night Raw. Pretty cool what Triple H has been doing. Now the OC has rejoined AJ Styles as well, and it looks like they're kind of setting things up for SummerSlam already, or I'm sorry, for Survivor Series already, because they're talking about a War Games match at that, and of course the traditional 4-on-4 matches as well. So we'll see what direction that goes in. They're talking about maybe adding a female to that stable to kind of even it out with Rhea Ripley. Some rumors of maybe Nikki Cross could be one, or could be somebody we're not even thinking about. John, any updates on the Stro there? Oh, sorry.
I resent the link to him and told him he could if he hits the link, finding a good connection, we're ready for him. He can come right back on. All he's going to do is hit the link. So
okay. Well, anyway, yeah, I caught the KO show on NXT. That was good. Very good.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay, so they did that. I was wondering where Kevin Owens was with the return of Elias. Now Ezekiel's older brother has returned. He's got the full beard now, and now this is the same guy, but he grew his beard back pretty quick. My gosh, I mean,
yeah, like what?
To put some Gia Pet in there or something.
2 months, maybe a little more, but
was it a couple months? Okay,
I think so. I mean, I don't follow too much, but I'm looking forward to Bray Wyatt and that developing.
Yeah, and like we talked about, he kind of
Wyatt 6.
Yeah, the Wyatt 6. Now they're talking about. Now here's one of the concepts I read about that online, and again, rumor mills, but and you get it from some of the dirt sheets that it might just be Bray Wyatt having 6 different personalities. So it's not going to necessarily be 6 guys total. It's going to be Bray Wyatt with 6 different personalities. Which anybody can pull that off.
I saw something on YouTube that it might be 6 guys because he said he got Eric Rowan to come back with probably with him. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, there's been some speculation too that maybe Dexter Lumis might be involved with them, along with Killer Cross, Karrion Kross. And who knows, but there's so many possibilities, so many different directions that they can go in with that. I mean, it's pretty cool though. We talked about last week with the kind of the shoot that he did, where he was just kind of just being emotional with the fans, and he got cut off by that masked figure.
The video, yeah, I was like, what the heck? I wanted to hear more from him, and then they cut it out.
Made it all creepy and everything. Yeah, that was kind of cool though, man. I enjoyed that. I think, and we've talked about it too. Triple H doing a good job with things. He just had COVID, so I guess the Road Dogg was running the show this past Monday.
And Shawn Michaels was running NXT according to Kevin Owens.
Oh, is that right? Okay, so I'm sure
Shawn Michaels asked him to come bring the KO show on to NXT, so that's why he did it. Yeah,
and I thought and I don't watch too much NXT, but I thought I read something that they were teasing Brock Lesnar to make an appearance on NXT, which would be a first. Go in there and maybe wreak some havoc, you know what I mean? But I like what they're doing.
Him and Lashley go at it again.
Hey, excuse me, guys. I think we got our guest back.
Okay.
There he is. Stro, sorry about that, man.
Hey, guys. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Right? But all right.
Thank you.
right?
We were just talking a little bit about some of the current wrestling these days since Triple H has taken over WWE. Were you able to see the full return there of Bray Wyatt? And what was your impressions of Bray Wyatt coming back and getting emotional in the ring there on SmackDown?
Oh, that was amazing. But the production value alone was just amazing. You know, I tell you, the WWE production crew is like, it could be like the worst show ever, and the production crew nails it every time. And
Right.
with Bray, the a whole elaborate settings and the cosplaying form of all these different personas and characters, and seeing the fun house again, and then him coming through the homage to the late Brody Lee with like the Forbidden Door entrance, and
Yes.
then him coming out with the lantern. I mean, and the pop and ovation he got was just unbelievable, man. It was amazing.
Like if the Road Warriors were coming out walking the aisle.
Yeah, it
Right.
was crazy. Yeah.
And what about that promo on SmackDown? Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wanted to hear more, but they cut it off with the video.
what a 360. You know, I mean, you expecting him to really emphasize the whole supernatural element of his persona, but man, and he just he pulled it back, man. He just toned it down and showed you a side of Bray that we rarely see, and then it was really refreshing to see that, and you know, it showed that different side of Wyatt that you know, we normally don't see. But it's it again, another amazing promo and segment, and I can't wait to see what he does next.
Yeah, some of the
definitely.
what we were just discussing there about that was that there has been speculation that because they're talking about the Wyndham Six, and that's his Twitter handle is Wyndham Six, and what I've read and again dirt sheets, rumor mill, whatever the case, that they're saying it might be six personalities that Bray Wyatt might actually take on instead of it actually being six guys joining him or five guys joining him to make it six. Uh, Kind of guessing too. We're maybe speculating that Dexter Loomis and Karrion Kross might be a part of it if they are going to actually have a human faction and not puppets, or not six different personalities for that matter. But yeah, I guess your overall opinion of how Triple H has been running things since Vince McMahon retired, and what was your first reaction to seeing Vince retiring? I mean, it just kind of came out of nowhere with some of the allegations and investigations going on. What did you think about that? And what do you think about that transition so far with Triple H taking over?
Why, like a lot of few, didn't really, you know, didn't know if that day was going to ever come, because you know, Vince McMahon was, you know, I mean, it's like he's there. He was there like to the end, basically, right? And but I guess with everything going on at the time, and he just felt like the time is right to, you know, to step down, if you will. But I still think that, you know, he's involved in some way. He will always be involved in some way, shape, or fashion, even if it's like a consultant or what have you. But with Triple H doing his thing, I mean, he's done a tremendous job. I mean, even in the small details of the programming with the storytelling. Well, I liked what he did with, you know, the slits in the vignettes in between matches, leading up to like the Dexter Loomis appearance in the main roster, if you will, and same with the little bits before the Bray Wyatt return with the rabbit and everything, and all the codes you would see on the television when they decipher the codes. And
Yeah, that was a cool aspect of
Yeah.
it. It kind of brought back that element of surprise with the QR codes because you know the internet, for as great as it is to be able to look things up in an instant, it kind of killed that surprise element a little bit. But the QR code was pretty cool twist, and then it leads you to like this mysterious rabbit, and of course you guys have seen it with coordinates to the next Raw, and then and whatnot. But you know that those Stro, I agree with you 100% about the production value of WWE. That was the first thing. We have a group chat for this show on Facebook. That's the first thing I said after he made his return was nobody does that production value like WWE does. They have it nailed. And it's good to see Triple H just kind of pick it up where it left off. And like you said, Vince is probably still a consultant in some way, but it's also refreshing too to have, the announcers actually used the term wrestling again. They were forbidden from saying that from Vince, which is, you could tell it's a little bit more loose on the commentary side of things as well. Oh, we might have lost Stro again.
I don't know if he froze again.
Yeah.
Man, what a show we're having.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties, right? As
Hey,
they
man.
would say back in the day.
Our production value is, it needs some help. We need some help from Vince.
We never have a hiccup, though, usually. So thanks to John and Robin for that, right?
Yeah.
But
That's
it's
right, man.
the technology or weather or something's playing to play today, but that's okay.
Hey, shit happens, man. We just keep rolling with it. What can you do? It's
right,
all good.
like
No,
we're AEW. The thing there is like wrestlers, sports entertainers thing they got going on, and
Yeah.
MJF. Yeah, I mean, what promos that guy can cut? You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, it'd be interesting to see, and it feels like such a long way off, but it'll be here before you know it. He's going to be a free agent in 2024. To my understanding, that's still the case. Be interesting to see if WWE makes a bid for him, because man, he sells. I mean, like when he comes out, when I was at the show here in Buffalo, it was just a huge pop for him when he came out. And it was right after the suspension and now potential release of CM Punk and the Young Bucks and them, but
They played it. I mean, he played it last night. He played it where he was getting cheers and then the boos too. I mean,
yeah, which he's so good at doing. Like he pulled in the crowd here with the Josh Allen jersey, and then he stripped it off and threw it into the crowd and said that the Bills were the worst team in the history of America and blah blah blah. But man, he just has the crowd eating out of the palm of his hand. Man, it's great. And then this feud he is starting now with Moxley. Has a ton of potential. I mean, both of those guys are great on the mic. We've seen Moxley, he can mix it up with anybody on the mic and mix it up with anybody in the ring. But I think AEW would be crazy not to put the belt on MJF. What do you guys think about that?
yeah, I definitely agree. I hope they do in a month.
Yeah, because even as a heel, he sells. He gets a great reaction. And,
and
I
Moxley
think he's
has already
deserving
been
of
a
it.
3-time champion in no time. I mean,
Yeah, right. And the whole mess with CM Punk, of course, didn't help. But why don't we do this, guys? Why don't we take a break? We're about 20 minutes into the show here. We could do a quick break here, maybe try to get Stro back, and we could maybe just wrap things up with him, because we're having some technical issues. But John, if you could if you're ready, we could queue up a break here, and we'll come right back with that.
Yep, be right back.
Digits 988 can save a life. If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, 988 provides connection to free confidential support. There is hope. The Lifeline works. For 24/7 confidential support, just call, text, or chat 988.
right, welcome back, Falls Count Anywhere podcast. We're just having a little technical difficulties here with Papa Stro, the maestro. John, any luck trying to get him back there?
I did. I reached out and told him, hit the link again and join us when you can, or if I just wait and see if he hits the link.
Yeah, hey, if he throws in the towel, I get
not,
it.
We'll try and reschedule it for another time. Definitely.
Yeah. What can you do, man? Things happen. The internet. It's a useful tool, but it's not always dependable. Wi-Fi and all that crap, gets in the way. So, apologies, anybody listening that wanted to hear more from Stro and not so much from us. But like you said, Chris, we could maybe try to get him back again down the line here.
Yes, definitely, and I'm sure I'll reach out to him as well as John will reach out to him, right? I'm sure. So,
yeah, so it's all good. No worries.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on, and such a great guy, and we definitely appreciate him, and we're thankful for meeting him 1 year ago, and we've been in contact since. And
yeah,
yes,
100%.
I listened to that WCW Retro show Thursday night, and yeah, it's great. But anyway, yeah, November is busy there. You said the 5th is the Crown Jewel with NWA is Saturday the 12th. AEW Survivor Series, but yeah, jam-packed.
It's going to be a loaded month for pro wrestling in the month of November. The Saudi Arabia thing still going on. I wonder if that will eventually begin to fade out. That was more of like a Vince McMahon thing, but I'm assuming they probably signed some sort of contract to do a certain amount of shows there once a year.
Yeah, but, well, I see that they canceled day one, though. I did see that.
Yeah, which was I remember the pay-per-view, but I remember there was kind of I don't recall like the whole purpose of it, why they called it day one. Like it was almost like a reset of like like a new season, so to speak, of WWE after that.
Beginning of the year. But well, anyway, why don't we get into our famous routine here, guys?
Might as well, guys. Let's check in with the Iron Sheik. Of course, we want to check in on the Sheik tweets. The Sheik always has some nice, kind, and loving words, and that are usually
let's see what we got.
Curse free, yeah.
Oh,
no, he's telling MySpace, go F yourself. Did you guys have a MySpace account? I had a MySpace account.
Yes.
I did not.
Oh, okay. Now I don't. No, see, you used to have to put together like a top 5 friends list. I don't know if you remember that. I'm not even sure if you guys would make the cut.
Yeah, right. Oh, wait. I think we got our guest back. Hold on.
All right.
Okay.
Hold on a minute. Let's bring him back in.
There he is.
Hey guys.
Hey, Stro.
Hey,
all right.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back.
Man. Sorry about the issues there, but we were just we were talking a little bit about the upcoming pay-per-view for WWE as they're doing their thing in Saudi Arabia coming up for Crown Jewel on November 5th. And
AEW, NWA, a busy month in November.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, Stro, what are your thoughts on some of the storylines that are going on here? We saw the return of the OC to rejoin AJ Styles. They're talking about doing a War Games match at Survivor Series. What are your thoughts on both? I guess on that, and then like some of the stuff that's been going on with AEW. We saw Hangman Page had a rough accident last night with a concussion. I don't know if you got a chance to see that.
Oh, there he is.
Well, I'm digging the OC and Judgment Day feud, especially with the history of the OC and Finn Balor.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
we were able to see that Hangman Page match last night. He got pretty busted up there, and they had to call in the AEW doctor. Ran out and stopped the match. He had a pretty bad concussion.
Yeah, my thoughts and prayers with Page for sure, man. And I mean, and the match was going so good with Moxley too, the champ.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on MJF? We were discussing him. It would be crazy for AEW not to put the belt on him at some point soon. I feel like he's one of their biggest draws, even as a heel. What are your thoughts on MJF? Some of the promos he cuts and the crowd reactions that he gets.
Oh gosh, I mean, the promo that MJF did with William Regal tonight was just a masterclass. of doing promos. To the best of the game, and it's just and it's something that Jericho mentioned not too long ago, was the fact that he really he believed that MJF eventually will be the big baby face of AEW, and you could see it. You could see the wheels start to turn in that promo with MJF and then Regal, and it was just such a beautiful thing. And MJF's one of the best going, hands down, right now, I think, in the industry, and with with greats like William Regal at the helm, feeling it on. I mean, you can even see the emotion on Regal's face, how much he was enjoying the MJF promo and when he was doing this thing. So I'm really excited, and got MJF and Moxley coming up for the championship. Definitely that's big.
Absolutely. And you mentioned William Regal. Did you have any type of friendship or relationship, as far as William Regal was concerned back in your WCW days there?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Regal and I go back. Matter of fact, him and Dusty Rhodes were very influential with me becoming Gorgeous George III earlier in my career, because they thought my styles and mannerisms resembled the original Gorgeous George, to where it snowballed to the point where I went to my grandpa one day and was telling him, what was going on, and I didn't really understand why, they were referring me to my style was that of Gorgeous George, and he just looked at me and said, you didn't know, and I'm like, didn't know what, Grandpa? And he smarted me up. He told me that Gorgeous George was my granduncle, and they were amateur boxing buddies back in the day before he, got into wrestling. So it's funny how the universe is like connected like that, and
Yeah.
you find out later in life, related one of the greatest ever. So, but yeah, Regal had a lot to do with getting the ball rolling on that, and we got to be friends. And I was always a big fan of his body of work, from around the world. And I mean, I'll put it this way: if Regal, if there was a time that you needed somebody on your side, you would definitely want guys like Haku and Regal in your corner.
As far as like toughness, right? To rough somebody up if you needed it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Regal's got that tendon strength, man. He's deceptively strong. Bob Orton Jr. had it. Randy Orton's daddy had it. I mean, he used to pick up guys over his head with one arm and drop him with a backbreaker. And I've seen Regal do amazing things inside and outside the ring, where it would just blow your mind. He's so good. He really is.
That's one of the things we've discussed with past guests, as far as like, some of the toughest guys in the history of the business. Haku always comes up. We've heard the Barbarian's name mentioned, and
Yes.
Harley Race as well. As
That was the story.
Yeah,
somebody just told us about the Barbarian. Wouldn't mess with him.
I think that was B. Brian Blair. Yeah, yep. Yeah, I guess at one point
I tried playing basketball, Barbarian and Haku. Oh my God!
Oh,
say it again. I'm sorry.
Everybody in the company that we're in WCW turned me down because they knew I was playing basketball with. So it ended up being the handicap match, 2-on-1, and man, I took more bumps on the court than ever did in the ring with him. And wait, Barbarian's blocking the sun with his big hand up in the air, right? And then you had Haku, right? And I tried to get cute and waist lock Haku. Haku literally drugged me down the court, dribbling the ball, shoots it up and scores, man. But
wow.
they thought it was cool that I wanted to play against him by myself, so they took me out to dinner that night.
That's
nice.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, actually, I do my classic clips, as you know, each and every week, and you're our guest today for our 1-year anniversary, and we got some classic clips of you, sir.
Oh, awesome! Thank you so much.
Oh, yes.
All right, now, Stroh, let me ask you: if you're in a dark alley and you got to pick one of those guys to have to roll with, as far as you got a group of guys coming up ready to fight, who you picking, man? Out of like Haku, Barbarian, those guys, the toughest, who you going with?
Oh, absolutely. I would I'd pick them. I'd definitely Regal and Finley, right?
Oh yeah, I remember when Finley came on the scene as the Irish guy against Regal in '94 at WCW. That was great.
Yeah, well,
Oh, that's the best matches. We all used to hunt around the monitor in the back and just, it was like Jedi Masters in the ring doing their thing.
yeah.
And Stro, another thing I wanted to ask you about, because I went back and I watched our interview with you from a year ago. I didn't capitalize it when you mentioned it. We were talking about Ric Flair and some of the stories about him partying and all that stuff. Well, a couple questions here. I just wanted to ask you, what'd you think about his last match? Did you get a chance to watch that? And did you have like any good drinking stories there with or any partying stories, I should say, with Ric Flair back in the day?
Oh man, I was just happy for everything he's been through that he could go in the ring and do his thing one more time. You know what I mean? Because gosh, he almost like left us not too long ago when he was bad off, and he had the pacemaker and everything, and then he said he was dehydrated going into the thing. So
Yeah.
the fact that he could just step in the ring and remotely do what he did was just it's just amazing. And with Rick, man, so many stories. Oh my gosh. I one time I'm going down I-85 outside of Charlotte, right? And this guy was like swiping me off the road, right? And I was getting a little heated, like, what's going on here, right? So I looked over and I didn't really recognize the driver, but I looked in the back seat and there's Ric Flair waving at me. But yeah, so many stories of Rick, man. He just like to have fun and have a good time, and there's stories about him having wrestling matches in restaurants with a waiter once. I think he had Arn referee or something. Yeah.
Oh my god.
My goodness. So instead of a tip, he's getting put in a figure 4 leg lock, the waiter, right?
Yeah. He's literally teaching this waiter how to wrestle.
Can you imagine seeing that? Wow.
I wish.
That was tremendous.
And it always made me wonder, because they talk about also with Andre the Giant, some of his stories of drinking, where he would be crushing 100 beers in one night. Love to see Flair and Andre in that setting.
Oh, can you imagine?
Some legendary.
Well, I got to see
right?
Ric Flair and Brian Knobbs and Nasty Boys do a dance off. That was pretty wild.
The strut.
Yes, Andre, my God, when I saw Andre the first time, to this day, he's still like the biggest human being I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of big people, but Andre still takes the cake, right? And maybe it's because I was younger at the time when I saw him. But man, I was terrified. And Dusty at the time, like, saved my life. I felt he saved my life, but he was wanting to break the ice to Andre and said, "Hey, kid, don't worry about a thing. Andre's cool. Say hello to him, Andre, baby," right? And Andre looks down at me, sticks his big hand out, says, "How do you do?" Right? And my hand disappears, and I'm looking up at him. "Fine, sir. How are you?" Luckily, he was a nice guy, but he had the bushy hair and everything. And I think he just got off doing the bit where he's a Sasquatch, Bionic Sasquatch, $6 million man.
Oh,
okay, yeah.
So he had all that hair and just scary looking. First time in my life, I felt like somebody was going to eat me. I was that low in the food chain.
Yeah. Yeah, I just recently came across a clip online where it was back in I think it was the late 80s, where Andre was just turning heel and he attacked Hulk Hogan and he had his hands around his neck, and the British Bulldogs were they each had one of Andre's arms trying to pull it apart, and he just basically flung these guys over the top rope like it was no problem. I'm assuming there's not much effort required by Andre to be able to do that.
Oh, he could do pretty much what he wanted back then.
Scary individual, man. Because when just watching that clip, I was getting nervous. And then the whole rock, about 7 or 8 guys from the locker room come out, and he does the same thing to them. He's just tossing guys like bags of garbage over the top rope. Pretty impressive stuff.
I
having in your corner.
Cool when I see the documentary of him and the Princess Bride, and seeing Billy Crystal and all the actors telling what a great guy he was and everything. And
Yes.
man, it was really cool.
The legendary Andre the Giant. Yeah, it called everybody boss too. And from the stories from that documentary too, he's just a humble giant, but he took some liberties on guys like the Iron Sheik and the Macho Man as well. I guess those guys pissed him off a little bit, right?
Did y'all hear the story about the Macho Man where he said he sent word to Macho Man not to put too much baby
Yes.
oil, because he gets too slick, and then he comes out all oiled up, and Andre just loses it and starts punishing him in the ring. And I think it was like the next night or something. They were in a different town, and Macho Man did this bang thing, and he took the robe off, and he was like Scalar in the Sahara Desert, so he wouldn't get punished.
Oh my.
The respect he commanded in that locker room though must have been tremendous. I mean, I don't think anybody. You think anybody ever tried to challenge? Oh, we lost Stro again. Oh well, guys. I mean, we lost the Stro again. Some technical issues there, I guess.
Back to the Iron Sheik tweet.
Back to the Sheik.
Oh,
there
here
we go. There he is.
We're
back in. There we go.
back to the Sheik, talking about our Sheik tweets we do every week, and the Sheik getting abused there by Andre the Giant. I know one time in the Meadowlands.
And that's for the Sheik. The Sheik did get abused because he was like the Kurt Angle of that time, man. He was legit.
Yeah. Any? Do you have any stories of the road with the Iron Sheik there, or did you have any type of any deal with him?
I got to tag with him, right, which was really cool, and he was so much fun, and and one time he was in the back complaining about the match, just losing it, right, and just cussing out, that's such a baloney. He took his great wrestler, he sucks, and just going off, and then the guy walks in the locker room and said, "Beautiful match, baby. Give me a hug. Shiki love you."
Yeah, we feature his tweets every week on the show. It makes me think of, and then his time on the Howard Stern show. They got him going. They would ask him one question about Hulk Hogan, and he would just start going off. His hate for Hogan still goes strong today.
Yes. Did you see the bit where he talks to Kermit the Frog on YouTube?
Oh my!
I don't think
he's like petting Kermit. I love you, Bubba.
Yeah.
Everybody's Bubba too. I love it. Like he was talking about Miss Elizabeth. It was the unfortunate anniversary of her unfortunate death, and he said, "Elizabeth, I love you, Bubba." And just his way with words, just always cracks us up, man.
I loved it when me and Gene told him in the Hall of Fame speech, because she just kept going, right? And finally me and Gene, I'm like, hey, Shiki, baby, you got a phone call.
And then they don't let Bob Backlund talk very much at all.
No. Oh no.
John, what about tell Mr. Killam, John, about the clips with everybody talking about the Sheik, remember, with the judge or something?
Oh, that was unbelievable. Yeah. What was that, Chris? We had it. He had gotten in trouble, what, for an assault? He assaulted someone in a bar or a restaurant?
Or was it the drugs with Jim Duggan in '88? I don't know what it was, but
it was unbelievable though, because
Cyndi
you
Lauper,
had
everybody.
Everyone. Cyndi Lauper came, and they were sending this. They made a clip. They made a tape to send to the judge. Is what happened. It was unbelievable. When you showed that to me, Chris, on YouTube, that was something to watch. All those people, try to vouch for the Sheik. I mean, I know Albano. He came out and he threatened the judge, but that was good. So that was good.
Yeah. Well, Stro, we don't want to keep you too long, sir. We know your time is sensitive, man. But anything you want to throw out there as far as like any social media stuff you got going on, or any Twitter handle or anything you want to throw out there, anything you want to promote?
Convention appearances.
Yeah,
convention.
Yeah, I'll give you the social media. Destro.com, THESTRO.com. It's my official website. Destro.com/merchandise is my merchandise site. Facebook at Stro the Maestro. Twitter @Destro, THESTRO. On YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/StroMaestro. I'm on Twitch at twitch.tv/RealPapaStro. WCW Retro Podcast every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, VOCNation.com. Yeah, and I talked about the films and the series I got coming up as well. A lot of cool things are happening. I've been doing commentary as well for different events.
I saw that.
Whether
Yes.
it's Fight TV or wrestling promotions, what have you. I've do stand-up comedy now.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah, I'll be doing one in Wilmington, January 14th at the VFW, Wilmington, North Carolina.
Nice.
Do motivational speaking now. I do a bunch of stuff. It's nuts,
Cool.
but it's great to get out there, and I just like to thank the fans for the support, not just for myself, but all of pro wrestling. I mean, we're all intertwined, together in the pro wrestling industry. So, I mean, it takes all of us to make it happen. So, thank you guys for your support and keep on supporting. And thank you guys for having me here, man. It's always a blast.
Absolutely, sir.
Definitely,
Absolutely,
definitely appreciate you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure meeting you 1 year ago and also today. And we follow you on social media. Of course, you know that. And we're thankful for you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Have I told you any Terry Funk stories yet?
Oh man, no, but I'd love to hear it.
No.
Okay, here we go. This was like the Terry Funk and the chicken. I don't know if you ever heard of that story, but we're getting ready to do a pay-per-view. I think it's out in the Cow Palace, San Francisco, and I'm waiting to do my promo and interview on Ernest the Cat Miller. We had a thing going that night. That was the one with James Brown and everything, right?
The Super Brawl 2000.
Yeah. And Terry had a match with Ric Flair, I believe, that night, and he was going to do his promo. So he had a trash bag in his hand, and everybody kept asking Terry what's in the trash bag, and Terry kept saying everybody's the same responses. I'm saving it for the interview, right? So the camera starts. They start filming. He reaches in that bag and pulls out this rancid chicken, feathers, like supposedly from his ranch somewhere, right? The Double Cross Ranch, right? But he takes the chicken, looks at the camera, and says, "You see this chicken? I shall now compare its anatomy to that of one Ric Flair. See these skinny legs? These are the legs of Ric Flair. See his beak? This is the schnoz of Ric Flair. And I'm going to take Ric Flair by the neck." And he's grabbing the chicken. He says it's right.
Oh, jeez.
"And I'm going to whip him like the dog that he is," right? And feathers flying everywhere.
Feathers.
I mean, we're all just cracking up. I'm spit up my water bottle. I mean, the cameraman's just howling, laughing. The whole joint's just laughing, right? Later on that night, they put us up in a real nice place there after the show. Get back to the hotel, and you know how the bellboy comes by and gets the luggage, takes it back and everything, right? Well, he's running around the parking lot with what appears to be the same trash bag that Terry had earlier in the evening, right? So I'm curious, right? So I walk over and say, "Hey, kid, you right? What's going on?" And he says, "Some old man gave me this dead chicken. I don't know what to do with it." It was Terry.
Of course. And as you mentioned Terry Funk, it's funny. I just recently rewatched Roadhouse, one of my favorite movies, like from back in the day, and his role in that movie. Now they're doing a remake of that movie. Jake Gyllenhaal is going to play the role of Dalton. And man, I don't know if you'd agree with this or if you have somebody else in mind, but like that redneck type of personality that he has, and like that bouncer the role he played in that movie. I think the only other guy that can maybe match that would be Stone Cold Steve Austin to put in that role in the remake, or maybe even Papa Stro for that matter. But but we think more like like that redneck type of personality. Think of more Stone Cold, right? Who do you think Stone Cold would be a good fit for that role?
Oh, absolutely. I think it'd be great.
I'm surprised they're even remaking that movie, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. I mean, that's such a classic. But
Terry Funk was in Over the Top too.
That
It's
didn't surprise me.
Oh God.
Remember that one, Over the Top?
Yeah.
Over the Top, yeah.
The
Wow.
arm
Oh,
wrestling
that's
one.
a great one. One of Stallone's best, I thought.
Yeah, he put Funk through those double glass doors like it was nothing.
That's
It was
that's
cool
great.
seeing Scott Norton in that movie too, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then
Now,
some of the guys were in the No Holds Barred too. Stan Hansen and a bunch of them.
Oh,
that's
Hanson,
right.
yeah. Oh man, that's like one of my first favorite teams was Hanson and Brody, man, back in the day. And it's cool, like Scott Norton and like Rick Rude at one time didn't they had like arm wrestling records at one point out west.
If they do, I would believe it because Rick Rude had some forearms on him.
Yeah, Norton did during his AWA stint in like 89, 90. I know that. But I don't know. I can't recall about Rick Rude though.
And Stro, as
Yeah.
far as I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No,
I was
You're
just going to say, as far as Terry Funk, I did see a picture online with him and Mick Foley. He was visiting him in. He looks like he was in assisted living there. Do you have any current contact with Terry Funk, or do you know like how he might be doing these days?
Well, I mean, last I heard, I mean, he's doing okay. I mean, doing a little better, than he was, right?
That's
So
good.
I just hope he keeps on the upswing because I mean, gosh,
True
I
legend.
told him a long time ago that I was going to adopt him as my uncle, and ever since I've just called him Uncle Terry.
Good old Chainsaw Charlie at one point as well in the WWF days.
Oh man, wasn't that great?
Yes,
Yeah.
with him and Cactus Jack there, Mick Foley teaming
and
up a little bit on those Monday Night Raw shows.
The feud against
I
Dusty and
mentioned the other night
Dustin.
on the In the Room podcast about the promo that Terry did with Raven when he's trying to egg Raven on, make him mad, upset, and Terry's sitting on the ground in the locker room, stretching his arms out, said, "Cross the funker evermore, you SOB," right? As he's doing that to Raven, Raven's trying out the corpse, right? You're not going to make me mad. Stop making me mad.
Great stuff, man.
That's great.
Scotty Flamingo.
Best personality, yeah. Scotty Flamingo, yeah.
We can go on and on, right?
Absolutely,
God.
man. One of the funnest personalities in all of wrestling. Of course, the hardcore stuff that came with it, whether it be ECW and barbed wire matches and all that sort of thing.
Oh man,
great stuff, man. And they have the scars to prove it, right? As Dusty Rhodes did. I always wondered about like those scars Dusty Rhodes had on his forehead there, and had some spots on his back and stuff. I mean, he had some brutal matches as well.
I remember Terry got Rick. That was Rick. It was Dusty one night, right before a match, right? Someone made the mistake of giving Terry Funk a microphone. Oh, here we go. So it's like Dusty's in the ring listening to him, right? Terry's like, I respect everyone in the wrestling business. I even respect that banana nose Ric Flair. But I've always hated you, Dusty Rhodes, you big fat whale. And you can see Dusty in the corner, like trying to keep from losing it, covering his face. It was so funny.
Terry went after Dusty and Dustin with the egg sucking dog.
Oh yeah.
And then Dusty and the Assassins.
Oh man, the Assassins, man. What a great team you were. Judy Hamilton, man, and another great promo right there. I mean, you can give some great promos.
Oh yeah, riling up Dusty even until 1993. That was great.
Oh yeah,
good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
In fact, I see his son, referee Nick Patrick, is trying to. He's going with the Deep South Wrestling. They're giving it a go, and it looks pretty good.
Yeah. Nick Patrick is a great guy too, man.
Awesome stuff, man.
Right.
Papa Stro, Maestro, we thank you so much for your time tonight, man. We
thank you.
We're honored to be able to call you a friend, and we'll be continuing to follow you and support you on social media and all your endeavors, because you got your hands in a lot of things, man. We think it's just so great, and we think you're just an awesome guy, man. So thank you so much for taking the time out to join us on this show. We're humbled as wrestling fans to to be able to speak some wrestling history with you and catch up with you as well. And we wish you the
Celebrate
best
our
going
1 year
forward.
anniversary with him.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
We had
lost.
perfect
Yeah,
timing. We just
perfect
lost him
timing
anyway. Yeah,
this time.
good,
Yeah.
Well,
good exit there. But thank you again to the Maestro for
Absolutely.
joining us here.
oh,
Yeah,
here
yeah.
he-
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Thank you,
Absolutely,
too.
sir.
Thank you
Absolutely.
for
Thank you
coming
very
back.
much.
Definitely. Take care, sir.
Take care.
You too.
All right, that's awesome. In and out with Papa Stro, the Maestro, Mr. Rob Killam there, guys,
Was
for our
great.
1 year anniversary here, going crazy.
Yeah, a little some technical issues there, but we powered through it and we were able to catch
I
up with
appreciate that.
Team Stro there, as we proudly call ourselves a part of Team Stro.
Definitely.
We'll continue to follow him on social media and see what he's up to. Like I said, he's been doing movies and all the stuff we talked about. So we look forward to see what's coming up next for.
So let's get
Rob
back to
Killam.
those Sheik tweets.
Absolutely. So we were talking about MySpace, right? And then now
Oh,
the Sheik also was talking about Yelp here. Now this is the website where you can go and get like ratings and stuff. But I feel the Sheik on this one, right? Because he's telling Yelp to go after yourself. When you
uh-oh.
click on Yelp, when you go online and you go to look at a review, they make you download the app to go any further. So yeah, I agree with the Sheik on that.
Yeah,
Yelp,
I agree.
So you can go F yourself there. Yelp.
Definitely agree. Here we go. One more. We got 2 more.
And for a guy that has a lot of kind words, he says if you have hate in your heart, go F yourself. It's just the play on words from the Sheik there, man. Just absolutely cracks me up. Now, of course, we do know, and we mentioned it with Stro here, the rivalry with Hulk Hogan will never go away. And he was given a question there on Twitter, and he happily answered that. And he also threw the Cleveland Browns under the bus as well. And Bovada asked, name a fan base that you're over, you're just done with. And he says, Bubba, I'll be honest with you, I'd rather be a jabroni Browns fan than a low-life Hulkamaniac.
That's
Freaking
great.
hilarious, man. Those Cleveland Browns, another struggle for them this year, but I guess they kind of have that coming with the whole Deshaun Watson thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They
Wow, the Sheik gets into everything nowadays. That's great.
Yeah, he
It
does,
is.
man. He's a man of the people, but just not the best with words, I guess.
yeah, he's awesome.
Well, we enjoy him. We get a laugh out of him each and every week, and so that's kind of
Absolutely.
good.
Absolutely, man. And of course, of course, we have our Falls Count Anywhere match of the week. We wanted to, which is our new feature on this show, our Falls Count Anywhere podcast, of course, as we call it, as we come to you from Niagara Falls, New York. We are Falls Count Anywhere, but we want to feature a Falls Count Anywhere match each and every week. And this one I came across here. This is kind of cool because as I'm going through wrestling history and looking up Falls Count Anywhere matches, I normally wouldn't do that. But now for the purpose of the show, I kind of got into it a little bit. And this is one I found. It was very interesting. As you can see there, that's Triple H with The Undertaker has Triple H in the corner there. That's China in the ring as well. And then the white T-shirt there is HBK. He was the special guest referee. This match took place on Monday Night Raw. This was on August 9th of 1999. It was a number 1 contenders match for the WWE or WWF at the time, WWF Championship. And the cool thing about this was, as the match was going on, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the current champion, comes down to the aisle. He ends up interfering into the match. He just completely destroys Triple H with a steel chair. At that point, the Undertaker was already beaten up a little bit, and he didn't see what was going on. But China ended up getting the win and became the number 1 contender for the WWF Championship. So if you hadn't had a chance to see that, go to the network. Again, that was Monday Night Raw on August 9th of 1999. The Falls Count Anywhere match. It was the number 1 contenders match for SummerSlam for Stone Cold Steve Austin's title back in the Attitude Era, of course, where they had China involved in a match with 2 men. And I'll tell you what, they didn't really go easy on her. She got choke slammed a couple times and was getting beat up by the Undertaker, who was pretty sinister back then with the Ministry and all that stuff.
Yeah, but man, she was built up and had the strength to take it. So
Yeah, definitely.
And there's been a case, I believe, and maybe I'm wrong on this, Chris, she's not in the Hall of Fame, correct? And I believe a case has been made by Triple H plenty of times. And now that he's running things, we might see Triple H induct China into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that is correct. But before China, like I say, right, John, we got to have Cyndi Lauper, for crying out loud, in the Hall of Fame.
Well, yeah, on the celebrity wing, yeah.
She's got to go. Yeah, absolutely.
China, of course, the 9th wonder of the world, they called her, which was a play off of the 8th wonder of the world, who was Andre the Giant. The ninth
Yeah.
wonder of the world being China.
And she was
definitely deserving.
first
Definitely.
female to be the Intercontinental Champion too.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
And Triple H gave her a shout out there on the DX reunion just a couple weeks ago on Raw. Gave her a shout out to China, which we haven't heard her name on WWE television in a long time. So it was cool to see that. And there was also, I guess, the Road Dogg was upset that they couldn't get Billy Gunn on the show. Of course, he's doing his thing in AEW with the Acclaimed, and then Corey Graves made the joke that he's playing with office equipment these days, referring to the Scissor Me Daddy shtick that they do on AEW. So they kind of referenced that in a cool way, which I thought was pretty funny. So yeah, check that out. The Falls Count Anywhere match where China becomes the #1 contender back in the Attitude Era there. But guys, we should roll into our main event, if you will, of the show, which is our clips for the week. Chris, what do you got for us, man?
Yep, as I do, right? Each and every week, these clips are from my own personal collection. I do not sell them to anybody. We enjoy them right here on the show, too. And John, let's roll the first one, I believe, is our guest. Yes, here he is, our guest today, Mr. Rob Killam. He talked about Gorgeous George III. Well, here he is.
Look at that blonde hair back then,
Look
huh?
at that.
The robe.
That's great.
What did you spray somebody with hairspray there? What was that?
Spraying, yeah, either hairspray or air freshener. I don't know.
Might be a can of Aquanet there or something, yeah.
But yeah, a few clips here, and here we're going to see, of course, the Maestro. WCW 99. Here he is.
Look at that ring attire. The hair, the ring attire, fantastic. Look at that, huh?
Almost like Adrian Adonis.
Yeah. A little bit
The
better
girl
shape, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And funny that the girl they brought him to the ring with was called Symphony.
Yeah, that was.
Aha, very good. Was that
that.
referee Charles Robinson there, Chris?
I believe it was. It kind of went kind of quick there, but here
What an
we see him
amazing
again.
career.
He got done there playing the piano there and backstage, and he's coming down the aisle now to wrestle. The Maestro.
Look at
There
that.
he
That
is.
is fantastic. That's on Thunder there. WCW Thunder. Oh, yeah. Right around the late 90s
what
there.
cool gimmick to come up with. And then here he is years later as he's at conventions and stuff like that.
Recently did one in the North Carolina area where he's located there just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, he's been to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. He goes all over the country.
Wearing the Papa Stro t-shirt there as well, which is also available if you go to his social media. You can find the links to his merchandise as well. He's got coffee mugs, he's got t-shirts, he's got some pretty cool stuff there.
Yeah, he does. Definitely. Got to check it out. He's such a great guy.
It really is. Yeah, there you go. There's current.
And there he has a little recent clip of him answering a fan question about his favorite finisher.
Oh, very
You know,
cool. Okay.
What a nice guy. He just kept, and he was having some issues with his internet and stuff, and he just kept coming back. What a good guy.
Yeah, glad he didn't tell us to like piss off. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, hang up on us and call it a day. But he hung in there with us, man. We appreciate that.
That is awesome.
Well, we were looking forward to this day, and I'm sure he was too.
That's good.
Good stuff.
Definitely
man.
appreciate
Good
the time and help from him. Our next clip. Here we are, guys. Some rare matches, as we call them, from the Houston Wrestling, Houston promotion, Houston, Texas. And here we see, right, John, the WWF champion, Bob
There he is.
Backlund, making an appearance against Afa, the Samoan.
Wow.
Oh, very cool. And this was, I thought I saw on the screen there, the Samoan Challenge. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, just rare back in those days that, if somebody like Bob Backlund would show up on Georgia Championship Wrestling and just all over. Here he is in Houston defending the big green belt there against Afa at the Sam Houston Coliseum.
Good old Bob
Certainly
Backlund, the cross-faced
Big
chicken.
guy, man. Yeah.
Yes. There's a gentleman we'd love to have on this show for sure.
Hey, if we're talking chicken wings in Western New York, who better than Bob Backlund, right?
Right? Yeah. True. Oh, look at this.
Here we go. Look at this tag team, gentlemen. Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Andre the Giant against their two crazy opponents,
Oh,
Kamala
we got Kamala. Yeah.
and the Missing Link, John.
Oh, my
missing-
guy. Dewey Robertson.
Yes.
What a team that is.
Look at what a tag team match. Can you imagine
Yeah.
this one? Boom.
Oh, that had to be great. Look at, oh, there goes Kamala. Look at
Wow,
that.
the ring is like shifting around. These guys are huge. Look
Yeah,
at it break the
Andres.
ring.
And then here, another rare one, right? The AWA champion makes an appearance. Nick Bockwinkel against the Junkyard Dog.
Absolutely.
That's
Who's
what
that on the
Junkyard
apron
Dog-
there, Chris?
That's Bobby the Brain Heenan there.
Ah, okay. I thought so. I thought I recognized the weasel.
Yes, yes. And we have one more.
Yes, we do.
Here we are. Definitely a rare clip here. The Hot Rod, as you call him, Roddy Piper, wrestling down in Puerto Rico, 1983.
Wow, look at that. How cool is that? That's some rare footage there, Chris. Good job, man. I mean, that's early Roddy Piper.
Yeah, 83 here against Invader #1 without the mask on. But still, Piper, rare. You don't see too many people travel into different territories back in the day, especially Puerto Rico.
Right, yeah. Of course, our friend Jose Luis Rivera down in Puerto Rico.
Yes, we'd like to send him a shout out after recovering from that hurricane. He said he was doing well.
Good to hear. Absolutely.
I'm sure we'll have him back. He was getting into some good stories with us
Oh,
and
man.
putting the masks on.
Yes, sir.
But definitely rare, the Hot Rod. Also, he was in the WWF, guys, back in 79, and also wrestled in Madison Square Garden in 79. Hopefully the network will release that.
That would be cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like when he was on TV, Joe McHugh introducing the Hot Rod.
One of my favorites, the Hot Rod. Too bad,
Very,
you know.
very cool.
Yeah.
Passed away too
Definitely.
young, man. I think he was
I
in his
know.
early 60s when he passed away.
Yeah.
Definitely miss him. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and there's
that brings us to
Go.
our enhancement talent jobber of the week, Charlie.
yes, sir. Our jobber of the week, and I'll tell you what, man. When sometimes I'm, some of the obvious names that we first came up with, the Iron Mike Sharps and the Brooklyn Brawler, the guys that people know off the top of their head, Barry O. As I'm kind of scraping through, man, I find some of these, and they're pretty funny. Some of the names that have been produced over the years. This is one I didn't know of, and I just went through. I was going through some match history. I ended up on Rick Martel's page on ProFightDatabase.com. That's ProFightDB.com. Rick Martel, one of his matches was against Craig Swan. Well, at the time in the WWF, he went under Butch Banks, and he ultimately ended up as under the name of Hardcore Craig, hailing out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and only had an 0-5 career record in WWF. But man, I just, as you're kind of going through the history, like I said, I just never knew Hardcore Craig existed. Chris, I don't know if you ever heard of him prior.
Yeah, no, you got me on this one. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, hailing out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Hardcore Craig, Butch Banks, real name Craig Swan, our enhancement talent, jobber of the week, if you will. And again, we mean that with no disrespect, just the yin to the yang of the superstars that came down on Saturday mornings down to the ring, and there was always a wrestler kind of waiting for him. Hardcore Craig, one of them, as he spent some time there in the WWF back in the early '90s. So very, very cool to kind of look into his a very brief career. He only had about maybe 15 career matches, but he caught on with WWF for very, very short stint. Again, 5 matches, but
And he looked like he was built up here. They should have used him and not just as an enhancement talent.
yeah, big dude.
Yeah.
Not sure why. What it takes. We've seen it. It takes mic skills, wrestling skills, and there's just so much that goes into being a pro wrestler from what we've seen and experienced as fans over the years. the guys that we gravitate to, right? So it's just, but it's cool to see some of these other guys from back in the day that didn't get the spotlight that maybe they deserved a little bit for putting over the big talent.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
Love those
Well, John, if you want to put up our, we would like to thank, as we do each and every week, and especially for our 1-year anniversary, which means a lot to us, our viewers. And this is our YouTube channel page, Friends with a Z there, Media Network, Friends Media Network. Put that in under the search on YouTube, and you can just not only see our show here, Falls Count Anywhere, but all our shows, and enjoy that. And I know we're up to 17. We're getting there.
Yes.
And of course, our home base here on Facebook each and every week. And our Twitter is at Count Anywhere. And also on Spotify is growing, I understand. So we definitely want to thank everybody and sticking with us for 1 complete year here. And the future looks bright.
Yeah, and a shout out to Brian Ferguson, who was our guest last week, for sharing our show on social media as well, and giving us some love there on social media. So we appreciate you, Brian, for doing that, and we'll continue to support Bumps and Thumps as well, proudly, as they go forward with their podcast as well. So we thank Brian Ferguson as well for giving us some love on the internet there, and throwing our show out there on Twitter and on Facebook as well. So if you haven't had a chance to check out that interview, that was last week. And of course, again, we want to say thank you to Papa Stroh, the maestro, Rob Kellum, for joining us here on Falls Count Anywhere. Gentlemen, another show in the books. Wish you both a great weekend as we keep on rolling along here. And now we're past 1 year, so this keeps getting better and better, gentlemen.
Yeah, and we got John with our announcement of the week here.
Oh, yes. You know what? This week, we have a hotline. It's the Human Trafficking Hotline, 888-373-7888. Human trafficking is all around our country in the United States. It's not just, it's everywhere. Please, if you see people that you think might be being, you can tell that might be being trafficked, especially those that might be, foreign, that could be being abused in that way because they're kind of in the shadows. No one knows who they are. If you see that, please call 888-373-7888. You could save a lot of people, and it's anonymous. It isn't like you're calling the police. You just call them, you tell them what you see. They'll, from what I understand, check it out, and you might save a group of people that you would never know. No one would even know they exist, but they are people and they need your help. So 888-373-7888.
All right. Thank you very much for that information, John. We are a show of the people, man. We want to get that important information out. And again, if you see anything, feel free, call that number and report it. If you see something, report it. That's the rule, man. Especially in this crazy world these days. It's the least you could do. So, gentlemen, again, thank you for an awesome show. And as we continue to roll along, man, we'll see what we got coming up for the next year to see who we might be able to pull onto the Falls Count Anywhere podcast. We've had some great guests over the past year. We want to thank each and every one of them for joining us over the last year. Just some big names and even some gentlemen that maybe I wasn't aware of in the business that have really shed some knowledge of the wrestling business on us and have had some great conversations with. So thank you to each and every one of them. Thank you to Chris, to John, to Robin, who's behind the scenes, sharing and helping promote our show. Thank you for the past year. It's been awesome. So, let's keep it rolling, guys. And again, have a great weekend, man. It's been great.
Yes, and of course we will. See you next week.
Yep.
Yes,
Take
sir.
care, everybody.
See you guys. Take care.